Crafters. In tonight's video, we're going to be creating a card that shares an uplifting scripture reference found in the Courage and Faith Cling Stamp set. We'll be using the Sentimental Park dies. Then we'll be making our own designer series paper using the EYELET 3D embossing folder. Hi, I'm Joan and I created this video for Joan Simple Papercrafts found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started. Here's the card we're going to make tonight, and we're going to be using the Courage and Faith Cling Stamp set, and we'll use this stamp right here. May the Lord bless you and keep you. And then we're going to also use this EYELET 3D embossing folder for the background paper. And then we'll need to use this die from the Sentimental Park dies. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to put this up here to be out of our way. And we'll start with our paper. We have a piece of Petal Pink cardstock cut at 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, or 14 centimeters by 21.6 centimeters, and we need to score it at 4.25 inches. I'm going to get my trimmer out here, and I'm going to line it up. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Up here, both in centimeters and in imperial, and I'm going to line it up at 4.5 inches, nope, 4.25 inches, or that's going to be 10.8 centimeters. And I'm going to use this blade here. That's my scoring blade. It's on the same track as my trimmer blade. This is the darker one. And then I put one more on here myself. It's one of these that is really dull, and it's marked glitter. And once I use this on glitter paper or on foil, it'll dull the blade. So I don't worry about this being a little bit dull to start out with. Eventually I'll have to get rid of this because it will start tearing the paper rather than cutting, or it'll leave a lot of burr marks. So then I will just take it out. And this allows you to take these off track. Right about here there's an opening, and then you can just take these out and they go back in just as easily. And I leave it right on the track because I can get almost all of the 12-inch up there, and if not, I can do it at the other end down here. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to fold and burnish this, and I'm going to do it on both sides because I like to get a nice crisp edge. And as you can see, I'm using our glass mat, and the mat comes with this. This is a cloth that you can wet, and then you can clean your mat. My mat was clean for starting out, so I should have this wet, but I don't. So I'm just going to move it off to the side. It also comes with this. So this holds your stamp pads steady, and I'm going to put it up here for when we need to use our ink. We're going to take our basic white cardstock because we need a piece of this, and we need to cut 2 pieces out of this at 3.5 inches by 5.125 inches. So let me just see if I got that on here. I'm thinking this is going to be 5.5. Whoops, sorry. So this is already cut at 5.125 inches, or that's going to be 13 centimeters. Then we're going to turn it and cut it at 3 7/8. So that's going to be right here. That's 3 7/8, or it would be 9.8 centimeters. And I need my scoring blade. I get that out of the way. And here's my trimming blade. And we need to cut 2 of these, so I'm going to do one more. Again, it's going to be 3 7/8. or 9.8 centimeters, or 5.125 by 13 centimeters. Okay, we got 2 of those already cut out. And then we need a piece of Petal Pink cardstock. This one I already got cut out. That's 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. and that would be 9.5 centimeters by 12.7 centimeters. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through my cut and emboss machine. And we need it to do our embossing. So let's see what it asks for. It is asking for this formula right down here. We need the number 1 plate, and this is number 1. And then we need the number 4 plate, and that's this one here. And then we need to make our sandwich. And so we're going to use our 3D embossing folder right here called EYELET. And I'm going to line it up at the line that's on here. And the reason I cut this already is because of the pattern on the paper. If you had to use a trimmer on here, it makes difficult cutting and you'll get burrs and it'll tear the paper. And I recommend cutting your paper first before you use this embossing folder. And then we're just going to put it in here. I need to get this out a little bit farther. There we go. And then we're just going to crank it out. And since we have our cut and embossing tool up here, I am going to do our next thing, and that is our sentiment. And I'm going to cut it out before we do the sentiment. So let's go ahead and bring this plate back in here. We're going to need the formula here. So we need the number 1 plate. Then we're going to need the number 2 plate. And luckily it has it on here again. Then we need 2 number 3s. My number 3s are worn out, so you can't see that it's a number 3 other than the fact that it's all scratched up already. And the paper size is 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches, or that's 7.6 centimeters by 10.8 centimeters. And in my instructions, I say you need to cut 2 of them out. Well, I already went ahead and cut the other one out because you don't need to watch me do this twice for the same stuff. I'm going to take this and I'm going to just pop all these out using my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm just going to put them right here. All of them are sticking here. All right, that one's good. And then this one will do. There we go. I'm going to clean this up real quick here. Okay. Then we take these and we want to color the flowers and the green stems that are on there. And I'm going to use light petal pink for the flowers. So you see I've got all the flowers colored in. Next I'm going to go in with my light pretty peacock and do the stems here. Just want to round that one first, and then we just need to keep that curve of the flower there. Again, keep the curve of the flower there. And I think I went a little bit too much into it, but luckily I can bring the petal pink back. I'll just come back like this, and then we'll just go a little bit there. And then we're down here. Then I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of this. So now we have this all done. This is the side I did off camera, and I'm going to have it be stamped this way. And let me get my stamp out here. We're going to use our pretty peacock for this. And I want to make sure that it gets a lot of ink on there. I'm going to stand up to center this over here. Sorry if my head's in the way here. I'm making sure that the letters aren't going to be on the flowers. And then we're going to just close this up. I don't think we need it anymore. This is our Stampin' scrub. And this is the side I want to put some moisture on there to scrub it. And then this one will dry it, so we don't put anything on that side. So I'm going to use this. This is our Stampin' Mist. And I'm going to get some scrap paper here to just stamp off. And you can get this out of the way too. Because all that would have been put into my Stampin' Scrub. And that would mean I'd have to clean it a lot quicker than I can do it when I stamp off. Okay, let's bring this back in here. I also have the other set that I've already stamped and colored, but I didn't cut this off. And this one I actually stamped on some scrap paper. So maybe the scrap paper was only big enough to do this much. And so I did that, and then I stamped this one, or cut this one out. It helps you get rid of a lot of that paper. And I'm looking for my scissors here. So we're going to cut this, but we're going to use the same technique when you're doing fussy cutting. So we want to move the paper and not the scissors. I just need to get that corner done. And I'm just going to take this off here. We're going to go in here, and again, we're going to move the paper and not the scissors. I'm going to just kind of snip this here. And then we're going to, again, move the paper, not the scissors. And I'm just going to touch this one up. Okay, so these are ready to go on the inside of the card. So I'm going to bring that paper back. We've got one of these that we're going to put on the inside of the card. I just want to make sure I got the right sides. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put one down here. And we'll put the other one up here. And I'm going to use my Sweet Petunia gun. I have arthritis, so I can't use this glue anymore. But I can pour it into this bottle here. So that's the glue we're using, is this multi-purpose glue. And I'm going to just put it on the back of this. And I'm going to put my rubber mat down. That way it won't put glue on this surface here. Liquid glue, Seal and Seal Plus, tear and tape, and the dimensionals will not stick on this. The liquid glue will dry up, but once it's dried up, you can just peel it off. And then you can have a clean silicone mat again. All right, here's the other one. I like this because I can barely squeeze it, and I'm getting these tiny drops in there. And then when you want to have it come out bigger, you just have to squeeze a little bit harder, and you'll see that in just a few minutes here. And we'll do that curve right up here. All right. So we can put that inside our card now. So we're going to put it on the inside. Now I'm squeezing a little bit harder. And I don't want it to have lots of glue in one spot, so I'm moving it rather quickly. Let me move that out of the way. We wanted it this way, didn't we? So that's going to be the front of the card, and this will be the inside. So I'm going to do it sideways because I can see almost all four lines. I want to leave 1/4 of an inch for a border on all four sides. So I'm trying to make this centered in on here. And I'm going to turn this over and just use my bone folder to make sure I have the glue contacting paper, that there's no glue bubbles. Okay, then this one, we need to bring out our embossing paper and then our other piece of white, and we're going to glue this on here. And instead of using the glue, I'm going to use my tear and tape because I like how that handles it better on this embossed versus, where the glue is. I want to make sure that I've got adhesive in there. I'm going to use these scissors now because they have ribbon on there saying that's my adhesive scissors so that I don't get it all over my good scissors. Put one in the middle. We're going to have something sitting on top of this. We don't want it to pull away. One more. Now we just need to make sure that we burnish this with your fingers so that it's contacting the paper. And you could use take your pick tool to pull this paper off if you'd like. I'm usually able to get a grip on it. Apparently this one's not working. There we go. All right, I'm going to just clean this up a little bit here. Then we want to center that on this paper here. And I'm going to leave 1/16 of an inch for a border on all four sides. So that's going to be a little bit shy of 0.1 centimeter. And then we're just going to fold this over and we'll use our bone folder again. And I'm lightly pressuring it. So I don't want to flatten that 3D embossed image. Then this is going to be put on our card and we can use glue now for that. Making sure there's a lot of glue in the center portion there, like I did with the tape. And now we're just going to open this up so that I can get that side there. And then we want to leave 1/4 of an inch for a border on all four sides. It looks like it's just shy of 1/4 of an inch there. All right, and then I'm going to use my bone folder again on the inside because I don't want to apply pressure to that 3D image. Then we want to put this on here, and I believe we used our dimensionals, and I have some right here. And we're going to put them right here in this corner here. So we want to make sure that we hold this paper down, but I'm not going to put any underneath the flowers. I want those to be loose. So I'm going to put one up here. We'll put one right next to that one. Probably could have used a 1/2 of one there, but I didn't. And one up here. And another one right about here. And I'm going to put one in the middle. I think I'm going to put one right up here. We'll put one down here too. That'll make sure that that'll stay put. I know I overdid it, but I'd rather do that than have it come off and get all funky when it goes through the roller at the post office. And these are only a penny a piece, so it's not that expensive. And that flipped over on me, didn't it? So it's hard to get it off when it flips over on you. So I lifted it, I put my tool in there and lifted the paper off, and it fell back down and it stuck. And now it doesn't want to come off. There. I've got to be a little more careful. This one didn't come off yet, so I'm going to get that. And I think I got them all off now. And then we're going to put it on the front of the card. And we want to make sure we got it centered. So I'm going to put that on here. I'm looking at this line right here. That is a heavy line. That's the center of the card. So I want to make sure I've got it right about there. Now I want to put some butterflies on there. So I'm going to use 3 here. If you put an odd number on it, kind of makes more interesting card than if you just put 2 on. So use odd numbers. I've sometimes put 5 on, and whatever I was doing, it wasn't excessive. I really liked it. All right, I think we are done. I hope you liked this project as much as I did. The reason I use this die is because I could turn it sideways, and the flowers works really well with the sentiment. I hope you liked this project as much as I did. As you can see, it would work great with just about any sentiment stamp set. why don't you give it a try? Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it, and would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Sunday, September 15th at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be making a Halloween card. You can find all the Halloween stamps, dies, and DSP under the Online Exclusive tab. We even have a scrapbooking kit and a haunted house kit. I hope you'll be back to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.